This was certainly a labor of love, going through and mapping all the particles to all the different shots that Keaton and I took a few weeks ago. But I wanted to show everyone how I go about it. Right now, it's pretty much done as far as the editing and the effects go, and then we're just going to do some overall color grading to the whole thing, like as a whole. But you can see all these little pieces that I have down here. It's like every single individual shot, because not every shot is just two hands. Some of them are my face, some of them are my mouth. I hate looking at those, but those ones have different particle settings so that it's mapped more accurately and it looks natural. And I will show you how I do the one on my face right now. So this is the particles mapped on my face and me making a very flattering facial expression. Maybe I'll keep it over here. But the way that this works is the original video file has differences between its lightest parts and its darkest parts, like any photo or any video that you would take. And the particles themselves get mapped based on the lightness of a part of the image versus dark part of the image. So you could tell that there was a light coming on this side of my face over here, and my hair, which is dark, doesn't have as many particles, and it also was casting like a shadow, or maybe my chin is casting a shadow technically if the light's coming over here, onto my neck. So there's not as many particles there, but there's, a little bit more on my shirt. The obvious places where it's super light are like this cheekbone, the ridge of my nose, and like a part of my forehead that really catch a lot of light. So that's where a lot of the particles know, oh, this is how I can map depth and make it look like it's coming forward as opposed to just being like a bunch of squares put over my face. It goes here. I can actually play it really quickly. Anyway, that they move as I'm moving with them because the light is changing as I'm moving my face, but they're also moving because I have keyframed a couple of changes to happen into them. So there is a displacement function here where I can use my own map of my own face to multiply the position in which the particles should be, kind of like like when you have a calculator and you're just like 2 times 8 and then it's like equals, and you're like, well, equals, you can just hitting it and it keeps going. It's like that, and I increase it throughout a couple of different parts here so that it can look like I'm a little more distorted. And then I also change the number of particles that are present in me. So here I'm using 250 particles along the x-axis and 250 particles along the y-axis, yet right here there's only 80 particles along the x and 80 along the y. So like there's less of me there, and you can see me grow into, well, the reason why you can't see me grow into it is because I'm using GPU acceleration on my computer to be able to edit this faster and not have to wait a long time every time that I want to preview it and see the changes I've applied. I'm using GPU acceleration instead of CPU on my computer, which if you don't know much about it, it doesn't matter. I don't even know much about it. But the GPU acceleration helps you work faster, but it comes with the risk of some glitches or errors, they like to properly call them. And these are the errors. Just a friggin' white screen right here. Here's another one. Let me see. Oh, okay. Here's a black screen with a couple of boxes on it. Let me see if I can find some more errors right here. Oh, there was one here. Yeah. What is this? It's just errors, but it allows me to work faster. So I kind of deal with them, and I can use my imagination to know kind of what this frame looked like because I have that frame after it as well. But we applied a different effect later on in the song to make it a lot more dynamic, and that is over here in the second verse. I have another form of my body once more that is using less particles overall, so it's more like a little netting over me, and you can see it here. And I'm making it just expand every time, just expand into the foreground with the snare drum whenever it gets hit. So you can see it just fly forward, and then it gets reset by the time we're about to hit the next snare drum. Oh, hold up. There you go, it's reset, it's kind of on me again like a little cage, and it flies forward, and it looks like this. And once again, I took down the particles. Here I went from, let's see, like what? Oh, I went from 130 by 130 all the way down to 70 by 70. So like there's not much of me here. Like I'm pretty sparse. I actually love it when it's like this. But to give you an idea, the way that it sees, where I need to be. So I'm here. The original video footage, and I hate looking at it, but this is the original video footage. That's a stupid face I'm making. But you can see that the lightest parts of my forehead, this side of my face, the ridge of my nose, they're the really light parts that catch all of the light that's coming from this upper corner. Or it was coming from the upper corner in real life. It's not like digital. Like that was literally part of the filming. Anyway, get that the hell out of there. To just look at the particles once more. But the same process is used for the hands that you see and for like the close-up shot of my mouth. It's the same process that's being done. We just use different concentrations of pixels to give it, or particles I should say. We just made the particle square so it looks like pixels. To make it look how we wanted it to. And once it's all said and done, I muted all of these with their own little audio files, made sure that I'd aligned everything perfectly here so that we weren't off by the beat or anything, and used the official audio file here in green, and to ensure that nothing is like skipping or anything. And look through it and hope that everybody enjoys it.